had that conversation because she hasn't taken the plunge yet. She's still kind of still a believer, not a fundamentalist kind of believer. She's very much on the more liberal side of it. But that's something that we haven't discussed with the kids because she doesn't want to. I guess she doesn't want to broach that subject, and a lot of times it seems like confrontational, I guess, and she doesn't want to make it seem like the kids have to pick one side or the other. So
Right. So I have to add, there's another way of homeschooling called unschooling. It's a little more radical. Basically, you have no books, you have no curriculum. It's a lot of work, though, because you have to see what your kids are into and try to enrich their life with it. Like, for example, they like mountains and stuff. You have to go to a lot of mountains and show them. Otherwise, it's not going to be that good.
Right.
So it's a lot of work. It's called unschooling, but I can't do that because I have 5 kids.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah, it'd be a little bit tough with that many running around.
Yeah.
Now, do you and your husband, do you guys have are you from big families yourselves, or did you just decide that you were just going to have kids and had just keep having them, or how did that come about that you wound up with a big family?
It's a little, how do I say this? Because I didn't come from a big family. I have one brother, but it was an unhappy childhood. We were abused. So I decided if I had kids, I wouldn't just have 2. I want them to have a support system of sorts. And they really get along because their ages are really close. So they all love each other, really. And it teaches them to do that. Unlike me and my brother, we were like a divide and conquer type of thing. So we didn't really get to be too close till we were adults. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and my husband is the same way. He didn't come from a really big family. He has 2 brothers and 1 sister, but he barely sees them because of circumstances concerning his parents. So that's the real reason why we have all these kids. We just, it's kind of like we want to just have them, give them their own kind of built-in support system that we never had.
Okay. Yeah, I know because my wife was she has her 2 brothers that are from a different mom. They're her dad and mom separated, and then he remarried, and it's a big, long, convoluted story. But she basically grew up as an only child, and so I knew she wanted kids. But I come from I wouldn't say it's a huge family. I've got 3 younger brothers or 2 younger brothers and a little sister. And I just didn't, there were things that advantages that I had that she didn't, but at the same time, I didn't want to have that many children just because, I guess. I decided to, and we're done.
That's the right thing. Yeah, I mean, having a lot of kids is not for everybody at all. I'm not recommending that. But if you have the heart for it, like we do, I mean, it's really all we wanted from the start. And, well, okay, right? It's not for everybody. Yeah. I respect it. If you're child-free or just one and done or 20 kids, it's fine with me. It's your life, really.
Yeah. So trying to think of some other things along the lines of the homeschooling, but like I said, there's just really, from when I was searching, I came up with a couple of websites and then a lot of places that were wanting to sell me curriculum, but there was not a whole lot in the way of, what homeschooling would be like. So what's a typical homeschooling day in your household like?
Like, in the morning, I have a lot of stuff to do. So we start after lunch usually, and we go all the way till dinner time. And we try to get like my kids, the way they learn is they can't really do like for an hour you do math, and then the next hour you do English. They don't want to do that. They get really bored. And so what I do is I just let them do like 3 days worth of math in one sitting. And they like it better that way. I don't know why. It's just the way they are. And I can see that they can adapt better that way. So that's what we do.
Okay. So you just is it more like you're jumping from subject to subject, or do you have a lesson plan through the day that you go through, or walk me through how it works?
There is a lesson plan. I mean, I would log into their classroom basically online, and it will be all laid out there, and you would just want to choose which one you want to do, but you can't go past a certain date. It only has to be like a week's worth, because past that you would get way too ahead and it's going to screw things up or
Okay.
something.
Okay.
So we do it at our kids' pace, however fast they can do it. If they're kind of slow on one thing, that's my opportunity to sit there and really explain things to them and help them. And usually they get it after that. And I was thinking, like, my experience in school, I didn't really like absorb a lot of stuff because there were how many kids in the classroom, and some of them were really loud and disruptive. So it was just that way. I'm a quiet kid. I was a quiet kid, so I didn't get much attention.
Okay. Well, seeing your Facebook, it's hard for me to believe, because your Facebook page, you're pretty out there. I mean, I do recommend folks check her page out. She's usually doing something with her kids somewhere, but she's also always got a fabulous outfit of some kind that she's rocking every day.
Oh well, it's for fun.
Whereas poor me, I like to say, I've got a face for radio and a voice that belongs in print.
There's nothing wrong with your face, honestly.
Oh no. Oh, stop it.
You look pretty good to me.
Oh, well, thank you.
Video next time.
Well, I'm thinking about adding video eventually, but it's just I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it and broadcast on this at the same time. But it is something I'm looking at down the road. Now, you were talking about maybe doing a YouTube channel. What were you thinking about doing?
Yeah. It's about, like, I was just thinking, like, I already have this whole thing in my mind. Like, I wanted to be about tips for families, about my daily life. If I'm, like, feeling emotional, I'm going to be venting there, and I don't care what people say, stuff like that.
Then don't read the comment section.
What?
I said, then don't read.
I just want to do that.
Well, YouTube is where if the comment section goes to die. That's basically YouTube's comment section. It's a horrible, dark place.
Right? It's terrible. Yeah, and I want to give, like, beauty tips or what I do to, like, diet stuff, exercise stuff like that. But I couldn't, like, start it on a certain date because it is always so loud in my house, and I'm thinking, oh, I'll do it later, and then when later comes, I'm so tired. You know what I mean? So yeah. I'm planning to do that maybe within 2 weeks, and I really gotta get my kids quiet for a couple hours, and that will happen. It just has to be planned out.
Yeah, well, that's usually why my podcast happens when it does, for the live part, because that's after my kids have gone to bed.
Right.
And so it settles down a little bit, because I've got two, and both of them, their ages right now are 9 and 7. And both of them, I think, have inherited my wonderful ADHD, and so they're bouncy as all get out all the time.
Oh, I am married to one.
Yeah, ADHD tends to make things a little bit interesting. I can definitely say
I
that.
know. I know. Because a couple of my kids have it. My eldest has ADHD, and I'm thinking my second has ADD. My husband is actually ADD.
Okay. So
I'm very well versed in your world.
Well, fortunately for my son, we caught it. Well, actually, we had to catch it because his second grade teacher, even though the kid is like a genius, was going to hold him back because he was not emotionally at the same level that the rest of the kids were, that he was always just like out in talking in outer space, all the time, even though he could, when one of his teachers was talking about fireflies, he was able to explain to the teacher what bioluminescence was. So
yeah.
And at 6 years old, throwing that word out. So,
yes, and the attention span, that's another reason I forgot to say. That's why I homeschool, because the attention span. I'm their mom, so I know how to get their attention and keep it at that one subject. Mm-hmm. But I'm really positive if they are in public school or any other kind of school, they would not pay that much attention because of the ADHD. So being their mom, and I raised them, I know how to get their attention and to keep it, plus the doctors and stuff, right?
Right.
So, we got it all taken care of.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I'm a big proponent of if your kids need medication, then don't worry about having to give it to them, because I'm on it myself. I didn't get diagnosed until I was 33, or excuse me, until I was 39. So it's and then the medication, it was like a night and day difference. So I know
Really?
it was just, I mean, that much of a change for me, that as far as being able to keep on track with things and keep up with stuff.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. Yeah.
So
I mean, my kids aren't medicated yet, but they haven't needed it yet. But
Mhm.
if I see that as they get older, they might need it, I wouldn't hesitate.
yeah, I will say that if you need it, by all means. I know that there's a lot of stigma with ADHD as far as getting your kids medication, because people will say, well, it's just a behavioral problem, or it's just this or that, but it really is. It's been shown that it really is just as much of an organic brain thing as depression or
Yep.
bipolar or anything like that.
Yeah, it's how you're wired. It's just the way it is. You're born like that. And you really got to find some coping mechanisms and how to really, overcome some of the behaviors. And with little kids, I can't really regulate them and actually see that they're learning if they're in public school. I know for a fact my eldest is not going to pay attention because she has trouble over here, and I'm on her
Mm-hmm.
one-on-one. So I know it because of her attitude also. If she was in public school, she wouldn't pass anything, nothing. She would gaze off and think about ponies and whatever. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I used to have. Well, I still to some extent have those issues still, but not as bad as before.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm guessing for both of us that kind of gets to be a challenge with our kids, because even though my daughter has not been diagnosed with it on top of all of her other issues, I have a feeling that's coming down the pipe.
Oh yeah,
But
I saw it. I saw it too with my kid.
So
Yeah.
But as far as your friends, do you have any issues with them as far as that, since you do homeschool as opposed to sending them to public school? I know you've talked about a stigma in that end, that are they being socialized and stuff, but how do your friends react when you tell them that they've been through homeschool, or that your kids are being homeschooled?
Oh, actually, one of my good friends is a teacher around here, and she's totally for it. She says it's a good way to give your kids an education. She supports me, and she teaches around here in public school. So she thinks I'm doing something good.
Oh, that's good.
And yeah, all my other friends are like, I can't do that, but more power to you. It's sort of like that. So they're kind of like, yeah, you're doing really good because I can't do that.
Yeah, I don't think I would have the patience to be able to teach my kids at home, because we would all be everywhere. Just there would
Yeah.
there would not be any kind of structure to it at all. It would not be a good thing.
Yeah, and it's mostly because you're their dad and they're familiar with you, so they feel they don't have to listen to you very much. Because that's what happens with me. You're mom, so whatever. You gotta be really patient.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one of the cool things about raising your kids, or about raising kids. At least when I've got them home, I'm with them. But when it's time for work, to go to work, I'm like, oh, thank goodness, finally get a break.
Yeah.
I get to adult for a little while.
Right. I get that.
Oh, but that doesn't last forever.
No, I mean, with us, we just have to enjoy while they're still little, because once they're teenagers, you remember when you were a teenager? I remember mine.
I tried not to. It's,
Oh, I tried to.
I was not a very good teenager. I was very much bookwormish still. So.
I was that same way, but somehow I was called a slut for no reason during high school. It's really weird, So I don't want my kids to be exposed to that kind of thing. It really traumatized me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, kids are cool.
They can be, especially when you grow up. I grew up in basically in a farming community, or not a farming community, but it was a very rural community, and so I really didn't fit in very well. But that was. But now that I'm in a place where